So, Russ, I think we should dive into individual kind of high profile tools. So, I want to start with Glean. So,
One of the top tools we get asked about actually very often when people are buying Larridin, obviously they want to understand Claude, they want to understand ChatGPT usage, things like that, and how can they really improve usage in a certain department. Maybe they care about shadow AI, but we get asked all the time about, hey, we bought this product from Glean, it sounded good. Is it valuable? Should we spend more? What actually happened? So love to chat about it.
great. I understand that Larridin has data on what happens when, in particular, sellers are using Glean. And just so everyone knows, in case they're not Glean aficionados, Glean is an enterprise search tool that connects to a company's internal systems, so Salesforce, Confluence, Slack, Zendesk, and lets employees find information across all of them. So, what specifically did you observe, did Larridon observe about what happens when sellers use Glean?
So we saw a lot of interesting nuggets actually. I was really particularly blown away by it, and if I were a Glean customer, I'd be pretty happy today. A couple of things we saw is that the teams that adopted Glean really ramped their use of other AI tools, right? Which is, I think they would tell you very much. One of the things where in some of the enterprises we saw using Glean, their AI users scaled up something like 20x when they deployed Glean internally. And remember, one of the nice things we have with Larridin is we're tracking heavy users, light users, and non-users. So this is really data you can only get from third-party measurement, which is one of the reasons it's been valuable for our customers. But what you really find is a story of, for the sophisticated users, much less friction. And so they're able to take on much more complicated tasks. In the Glean case specifically, when we looked at sellers using Glean versus those that weren't in the same organizations, those that were moved, I'd say there were three positive things happening at once. They were 25% more successful at dealing with complicated tasks, which let them take on more sophisticated work more independently. So they weren't asking for as much help as their colleagues who weren't Glean users, and they needed less time to get those tasks done. So what you really saw is exactly what you'd hope as a seller. Sellers were doing much more sophisticated work. They were getting that done more quickly with less help from others. So just from an efficiency and productivity standpoint, Glean was clearly making people much, much more productive.